Are you an experienced developer with several successful projects behind you, yet still hitting a ceiling? You know there is more profit available, more scale, better capital efficiency. But moving from small projects into larger institutional-grade developments feels like a completely different game. That is exactly where new build estates come in. This is the strategy that moves you beyond single-unit deals and smaller conversions into multi-unit schemes with gross development values of £5 million and above. When structured correctly, these projects can consistently deliver developer profit margins of 15 to 25%. This is where real portfolio growth begins. Scaling in property development is not about doing more of the same. It is about changing how you acquire sites, secure planning, structure finance, manage delivery, and exit projects. That is where many ambitious developers get stuck. They can manage a flat conversion. They can deliver a small scheme. But once the site becomes larger, complexity increases rapidly. Planning becomes more technical. Infrastructure costs rise. Section 106 and CIL begin to impact viability. Cash flow tightens, team limitations become visible, and that is where growth often stalls. At the same time, the UK property market offers endless options: HMOs, commercial conversions, title splits, extensions, heritage, new builds. Many developers consume more content but gain less clarity, choosing strategies based on noise rather than suitability. That is why the Property Strategy Selector exists. It is designed to remove one of the biggest problems in property development: choosing the wrong strategy. You answer 5 key questions: your goal, your budget, your timeline, your experience level, your risk tolerance. That is it. No complex inputs, no technical knowledge required. The tool maps your answers against real-world strategy data and filters out what does not fit, giving you a clear, structured direction. Whatever strategy you pursue, every profitable development depends on 4 core pillars: acquisition planning gain, build efficiency exit, get one wrong, and margin disappears. The most important metric in any development is gross development value. GDV is the total value of the completed scheme. For a new build estate, it is the combined sales value of all units. For example, 10 terraced houses in a commuter town like Guildford, each selling at £450,000, creates a GDV of £4.5 million. Simple in theory, but the mistake many developers make is relying on gut feel, loose agent estimates, or optimism. That leads to poor appraisals, weak deal structuring, and unviable projects. Our approach is different. We use evidence-based valuations backed by strong comparables, then stress test GDV at -10 and -20% to understand downside risk before committing. That is how serious developers protect capital. This is where many active property entrepreneurs get stuck. You are dealing with planners, architects, licensing officers, building control, fire safety requirements, contractors, lenders, managing agents, tenants, and local authority policies. That is a very different game from simply understanding the concept. This is the knowledge action gap. You know the strategy. That is why PCMA Elite exists. PCMA Elite is designed to help active property entrepreneurs move from opportunity to execution, not just by teaching the theory. The new build estate typically involves 5 to 50 units on sites such as brownfield land, infill plots, underutilized urban land, or disused commercial spaces. What matters is not what the site is, but what it can become. And that starts with acquisition. The foundation of any successful estate is buying the right site at the right basis, with genuine planning upside. That means identifying overlooked opportunities: brownfield land, redundant commercial use, large plots, or sites with underutilized density. The mistake many developers make is focusing on potential without properly assessing constraints. They overpay. They underestimate costs. They ignore planning risks. They miss legal or access issues. And margin is lost before the project even begins. Our approach is built on rigorous due diligence, assessing policy, constraints, access, utilities, legal structure, and comparable evidence before relying on any numbers. That is how you acquire with confidence, not assumption. The real value lever is planning gain. This is where value is created, by increasing density, improving unit mix, and optimizing layout to achieve a significantly more valuable outcome. The mistake is submitting generic schemes that meet minimum standards but fail to maximize the site. That leads to reduced GDV, weak outcomes, or refusal. Our planners and architects focus on design-led planning, aligning policy, market demand, and buildability to secure stronger consents. Then comes value engineering. This is not about reducing quality, it is about spending intelligently. Strategic upgrades, such as kitchens, bathrooms, flooring, and curb appeal, can significantly increase perceived value and sale price. But overspending in the wrong areas reduces profit. The objective is not the cheapest solution. It is the optimal one. So finance and tax structuring are equally critical. At this scale, structure must be considered from the beginning, not later. Development finance, loan to cost, loan to GDV, drawdowns, equity exposure, and SPV structures all directly impact returns. Poor structuring leads to unnecessary tax drag and reduced profit. We integrate finance and tax strategy from day one so the structure supports the project, not weakens it. For example, a brownfield site in West Sussex, acquired for £750,000, was repositioned through planning into an 8-unit scheme. The project completed in 18 months, 6 for planning, 12 for construction. The final GD fee reached £3.2 million, delivering a developer profit of approximately £640,000, around 20% on GDV. That is what aligned acquisition, planning, and execution looks like. But scale brings risk: market, planning, build, and finance. The issue is not the presence of risk, but the failure to model it properly. Our process includes stress testing, contingency planning, and structured delivery to manage exposure throughout the lifecycle. Our model combines the Academy for Strategy and a step-by-step blueprint with an execution team working alongside you, bridging the gap between learning and doing. At this level, you cannot rely on fragmented consultants. You need an integrated team. At PCMA Elite, education and execution are not separate, they are combined. You are supported by planners, architectural designers, and development specialists working with you throughout the process. Not advising, executing. New build. Estates are not about doing more deals. They are about operating at a higher level, with stronger structure, better decisions, and greater efficiency. If you are facing team limitations, planning inefficiencies, or the complexity of scaling, this is likely your next step. The PCMA Elite framework provides a structured system to guide this, from initial appraisal through to consent and delivery. If you are actively assessing opportunities and want clarity before committing, use the Planning Gain Calculator. It will help you understand the numbers and direction before you move forward. And if you want support executing the strategy, you can apply to work with us. We review every application and only proceed where there is a clear fit. You will also gain access to additional tools within the portal to explore scenarios and refine your approach further. Link below.